What's goody, theorists? 2005 was one of those years where R&B was everywhere, blasting out of cars, dominating 106 in Park, and shaping the sound of the decade. And the women, they were running the show. From Mariah Carey's epic comeback to Beyonce still proving she could hold it down on her own, to breakout newcomers like Rihanna and Tiara. The ladies were holding the charts, the clubs, and our car visor CD cases hostage. So today we're breaking down the top 10 female R&B singles of 2005. Some were superstar moments, some were debut statements, but all of them remind us just how much the ladies carried that year. And just for clarity, when we do these lists, we're basing the year on when the single was released with the album, not necessarily when it hit radio or TV. We gotta keep the line sharp. So make sure you're subscribed with that notification bell on so you don't miss a list. Hit that thumbs up if you like it, and drop your comments below which song was your favorite back then, and share this video. I'm QB, your R&B bae. Now that that's out of the way, let's get to it. Number 10, Pon de Replay, Rihanna, Music of the Sun. When Rihanna hit the scene in 2005 with Pon de Replay, she wasn't just a new singer, she was a force of nature. Barely 17, fresh from Barbados, she dropped a song that felt like a Caribbean block party thrown in the middle of your living room. The hook was impossible not to sing along to, and everybody did. The beat, courtesy of Carl Sturken and Evan Rogers and Veda Nobles, had that dance hall bounce mixed with smooth R&B polish, giving Rihanna the perfect playground to show off her voice, her charisma, and her effortless cool. The music video matched the energy, bright, fun, and full of people moving like the party wouldn't stop, because with this track, it didn't. Pon de Replay hit number 2 on the Billboard Hot 100, and suddenly everybody knew her name. But more than the charts, the song announced something bigger. Rihanna was a performer who could make the club feel personal, the party feel intimate, and you feel like you were exactly where you needed to be. Number 9, Gotta Go, Gotta Leave, Vivian Green, Vivian. Vivian Green had already carved out a reputation for turning heartbreak into poetry by the time Gotta Go, Gotta Leave dropped in 2005. This wasn't a playful breakup track or a club banger. It was a slow burn, mid-tempo confession, the kind of song you play when you're staring at your phone, debating whether you should call, text, or just walk away. The song came off her sophomore album, Vivian, and showed a more confident, self-assured side of the Philly singer-songwriter. Her voice floats over the sparse, piano-driven beat, letting the emotion do the heavy lifting. You feel the weight of every lyric, the frustration, the longing, the clarity of finally deciding enough is enough. While Gotta Go, Gotta Leave didn't dominate the Hot 100, it resonated on the R&B charts and with listeners who connected to its honesty. Vivian's knack for blending jazz-inflected phrasing with contemporary R&B production made it stand out among her peers in 2005. A reminder that some songs don't need radio domination to be unforgettable. This was Vivian showing that sometimes the strongest statement in love is knowing when to walk away. Number 8, Make Her Feel Good, Tiara. Rockefeller Records presents Tiara. Tiara came into the game with one of the most coveted cosigns in mid-2000s music. She was Rockefeller's new R&B princess. Barely 17, fresh out of Detroit, and already carrying the pressure of being the label's answer to Beyonce. Tiara didn't ease into things. Her debut single, Make Her Feel Good, was a slick, confident warning shot aimed straight at the competition. Produced by Sean Garrett and Big D, the track married shimmering R&B melodies with a bounce that sat comfortably next to the hip-hop hits of the time. Lyrically, it was as much about flexing as it was about romance. Tiara letting everyone know she had the looks, the voice, and the game to pull your man if she wanted. With heavy 106 rotation, the full backing of Jay-Z, L.A. Reid, and the Rock Machine, Make Her Feel Good climbed to number 35 on the Billboard Hot 100 and cracked the top 10 on the R&B hip-hop chart. While her self-titled debut album didn't match the commercial success of her label mates, this single captured a moment when Tiara was poised to be R&B's next it girl, a crown she wore with all the confidence of someone who knew the spotlight was hers, even if just for a season. Number 7, Please, Toni Braxton, Libra. Toni Braxton wasn't new to giving us songs about heartbreak and love gone wrong, but in 2005, she came with something different, a warning. Please was the lead single from her Libra album, and it was Toni telling an ex, in the most velvet tone way possible, to stop calling, stop begging, stop showing up. Basically, please, just move on. The road to Libra was messy though. Back in 2002, Toni was gearing up to release More Than a Woman when life threw her a curveball. She found out she was pregnant with her second child. Complications forced her to cancel performances, and Arista Records, well, let's just say they weren't exactly sending flowers. The label refused to delay the album, dropped it anyway in November, and without Toni outdoing her signature promo run, the project flopped on the charts. Disappointed and probably done with the drama, she asked her manager, Barry Hankerson, to get her out of that contract. By 2003, she was gone, heading to Hankerson's own Blackground Records for a fresh start and a chance to balance the scales. She and then-husband, industry vet Carey Lewis started recording the new albums themselves, turning in a smooth, soulful batch of songs. But Blackground, they wanted more grit, more edge. Enter Scott Storch, who laced pleas with icy piano stabs and drums that hit like a side-eye. And just to make sure the track was plush, they stacked it with background vocals with then-rising songwriter Carrie Hilson, Toni's baby sister Tamar Braxton, and Kim Johnson of the gospel R&B duo JS. Chart-wise, Please peaked at number 36 on the R&B hip-hop chart. Not the smash it deserved, but for the fans, it was Toni reminding everybody she could pivot, she could push back, and she could still sound like the coolest person in the room while doing it. Number 6, Girl Fight, Brooke Valentine, Chain Letter. Years before Bad Girls Club ever hit the air, we already had the soundtrack. Neck deep in the crunk era, Lil Jon yelling on every other song, trunk rattling bass lines shaking every block, and if you weren't leaning and rocking with it, you were at least pretending you could. From the same musical lineage as 04's Knuck If You Buck from Crime Mob, a record so wild it could turn even the calmest crowd into a mosh pit. So for her debut single, Houston-born newcomer Brooke Valentine decided to skip the love ballads and jump straight into the chaos with Girl Fight. Produced by the king of crunk himself, Lil Jon, back when his bark alone could turn the track into a banger, the record also featured Big Boy of Outkast delivering a verse where he's practically instigating the drama between Brooke and some chick. The result was pure mid-2000s mayhem, a bass-heavy, sing-along fight anthem that felt like it belonged on every party playlist and in every club parking lot confrontation. But behind the attitude was a strategic industry push. Brooke was signed to Subliminal Entertainment through Virgin Records, and Girl Fight was designed to introduce her as more than just another R&B singer. She was brash, playful, and unafraid to blend genres. And it worked. The single peaked at number 23 on the Billboard Hot 100 and hit number 13 on the Hot R&B Hip Hop chart, boosted by heavy BET and MTV rotation. Her debut album, Chain Letter, dropped that same year, pulling from R&B, crunk, and even pop rock influences. While Brooke never replicated the mainstream splash of Girl Fight, the single cemented her as one of the most memorable one-album wonders of the mid-2000s. And if you were outside back then, you definitely remember screaming that hook at your friends, even if you had no intention of actually throwing hands. Remember those albums that changed everything? The ones you played on repeat? The soundtracks of your story. Now, they're not just memories, they're wearable. 8 classic albums pressed into every hoodie and tee. For the ones who grew up on that real hip-hop, and the ones who are still catching up, this is more than merch, it's a tribute. Wear what raised you. Available now at shop.culturalisttheory.com. Number 5, Check on It, Beyonce featuring Slim Thug and Bun B, number 1s. Long before she was breaking box office records with Renaissance and dropping surprise albums at midnight, Beyonce was running the 2000s one Pink set at a time. Check on It was supposed to be a quick side project for the Pink Panther movie, but B, Slim Thug, and Bun B turned it into one of the most infectious R&B records of 2005. Produced by Swizz Beatz, the track is all flirt and bounce. Beyonce invited you to look, but not touch, while the Texas boys bring a smooth southern drawl to the mix. She wasn't even planning to put it on an album, but when the radio went crazy for it, it found a home on Destiny's Child's Number Ones compilation. The Hype Williams directed video was a masterclass in color coordination. All pink everything. Walls, sets, outfits, even the lighting. With Beyonce switching between corsets, fedoras, and fur. The editing moved with the beat, every cut hitting on Swizz's drums. With all that pink and the timeless energy of the track, Check on It could have slid right onto the Barbie soundtrack and felt right at home. The single held number 1 on the Billboard Hot 100 for 5 weeks, proving B could dominate with a playful, under 3-minute track just as easily as she could with a powerhouse ballad. Nearly 2 decades later, Check On It still works, part of that long list of receipts showing why Beyonce has been in control of the game from the jump. Number 4, One Thing, Amerie, Touch. If you were outside in 2005, you know exactly where you were the first time you heard One Thing. That blaring go-go drum break hit, Amerie letting out that na-na-na-na-na-na, and boom, you were wide awake. The lead single from her Touch album, One Thing, was Amerie's sweet spot. Funky, bright, and so addictive it felt like summer bottled into 3 minutes. Produced by Rich Harrison, the same guy behind Beyonce's Crazy in Love, the track flipped the Meters' Old Calcutta into a full-blown R&B explosion. At first, Amerie had to fight to get it released. The label didn't hear the hit, but once it leaked to radio and started catching on, there was no stopping it. The video doubled down on the energy. Amerie dancing all over the house in heels, out in the streets, posted up on the stoop, all while serving mid-2000s fashion. Low-rise jeans, chunky belts, and enough hair flips to power a wind turbine. It didn't need a storyline because the song was a story. Pure movement, pure vibe. One Thing peaked at number 8 on the Billboard Hot 100 and went all the way to number 1 on the R&B hip-hop chart. But the bigger win was cultural. It became the unofficial soundtrack to block parties, cookouts, and movie scenes. We're looking at you, Hitch. Nearly 20 years later, that opening drum break still hits like the first day of summer. Number 3, Be Without You, Mary J. Blige, The Breakthrough. By 2005, Mary J. Blige was already the queen of hip-hop soul, but Be Without You proved she could still level up after more than a decade in the game. Dropping as a lead single from The Breakthrough, it wasn't just another MJB love song. This was grown, committed, ride or die love, the kind that survives the drama and comes out stronger. Co-written with Jonte Austin and produced by Brian Michael Cox and Ron Fair, the track had that mid-2000s slow burn polish, crisp drums, warm keys, and just enough space for Mary's voice to do the heavy lifting. And she did, delivering a vocal performance that was equal parts Sunday service and late night phone confession. The video, directed by Matthew Ralston, y'all know which one, played like a short film. Terrence Howard starred as Mary's love interest, and the two gave us all the tender moments, heated arguments, and makeup scenes to match the song's roller coaster of emotions. And because it was 2005, we also got some peak Mary fashion. Oversized shades, statement coats, and just the right amount of fur trim. Chart-wise, Be Without You was a monster. 15 weeks at number 1 on the Hot R&B Hip Hop Songs chart, and a top 5 hit on the Hot 100. It went on to win 2 Grammys and became one of the longest running number 1 R&B singles in history. But more than that, it's the kind of record that still gets played when you need to remind somebody that yes, they'd be lost without you. Number 2, Love, Keyshia Cole, The Way It Is. In 2005, Keyshia Cole was still the new kid on the block, but Love made sure nobody would forget her name. This was the 4th single from her debut album, The Way It Is, and the one that officially stamped her as an R&B powerhouse with a pen game and a voice that cut through like heartbreak itself. Funny thing is, Keyshia didn't even want Love to come out as a single at first. She thought it was too slow and might not connect, but the people had other plans. Written by Keyshia and produced by Greg Curtis, the song is an open wound put to music, raw, pleading, and completely unfiltered. She reportedly knocked out the vocals in just a couple of takes, which makes sense. You can hear the unpolished emotion in every line. Love didn't just pull at heartstrings, it ripped them out and waved them around for everybody to see. And the music video, shot in a snowy New York and directed by Benny Boom, feels like a mini-movie. There's the love interest drama, the emotional phone calls, the pacing in the apartment moments, all those early 2000s R&B video tropes we secretly miss. And of course, the looks. Oversized coats, hoop earrings, fur trims, and straight hair with that honey blonde streaks that became Keyshia Cole's early signature. On the charts, Love peaked at number 19 on the Billboard Hot 100 and hit number 3 on the Hot R&B Hip Hop Songs chart. But its real victory was in the streets, becoming one of the defining slow jams of the 2000s. Even people who didn't know Keyshia Cole's names could sing Love. And yes, it's the same Love you heard get absolutely butchered on karaoke stages and TikTok challenges ever since. Number 1, We Belong Together, Mariah Carey, The Emancipation of Mimi. Y'all, when We Belong Together dropped in 2005, it was more than just a song. It was Mariah Carey's big comeback moment after some years of crickets on the charts. And Mimi wasn't just free, she was back better than ever. The song felt like a love letter and a breakup diary all rolled into one, with Mariah's vocals soaring over that smooth Jermaine Dupri and Manuel Seal beat. And this wasn't just some quick throwaway single. Mariah and her team knew that this was special, and so did everybody else. The track spent 14 weeks at #1 on the Billboard Hot 100, the longest reign of the decade, and that is some serious airplay. It was everywhere. Radio, club, your cousin's wedding, even TV shows that still use it to set the mood for a dramatic reunion. The music video kept it simple and real. Just Mariah and her feelings in an apartment, no big flashy sets, just that emotional pull. It showed a softer, more vulnerable side that people could connect to, ditching the diva glam, this time, for something raw. This song didn't just kick off the promo for any old album. It revived a career that was collapsing under the weight of its former glory and reminded everyone why Mariah Carey is who she is. And let us remind you to subscribe to CT, turn on the notifications so you don't miss a list. Let us know in the comments which of these singles was your favorite back then and which one is still in rotation. We have rankings on just about everybody on this list, so click around the channel and tap in. I'm QB, your R&B babe. I'll see you there.